Hey, what is up guys? Murphy back for another draft, and today we're playing Modern Cube. Apologies, I have been away from YouTube for a little bit, just doing some out-of-life things like getting a new job. But I'm back, and let's get straight away into pack one, pick one for this Modern Cube. So cards I like in here are Batterskull. I quite like Vengevine in this cube. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this cube, but I really like the red-green beatdown style decks. Surprise, but yeah, Vengevine is sweet. Celestial Colonnade if you want to play blue-white. Chandler's Phoenix is fine in burn decks. Gonti's sweet in control decks. Fixing is fine. Wrath of God is fine. And Phantasmal Image is whatever, really. Traverse would be nicer if there was more ways to enable Traverse more enable Delirium more consistently. But without things like Mishra's Bauble and things like that in your deck, it's quite hard to do. So we're just going to take Vengevine here. I really like Vengevine. 4 power creature for 4 with haste. Comes back. It's just really good in beatdown decks. So in this pack we have Geist. Geist is just incredibly powerful with a 3-drop that effectively puts 6 damage on the board. Is insane. Sword of War and Peace is the one that gains you life and deals damage to your opponent. Phyrexian Obliterator is absurd if you're in mono black. It's got kind of like Reverse Annihilator, that's how I always think about it. Commit to Memory is not something we want to be looking to take. Soulscar Mage is fine. Storm Blood Berserker is pretty nice in like a red beatdown deck. The only problem is that you really need 1-drops to enable it on turn 2 because it has Bloodthirst too. If you don't enable the Bloodthirst, it's just an unplayable card. So it's either a 2-mana 3/3 with Menace, which is insane, or it's a 2-mana 1/1 with Menace, which is unplayable. So you really need the 1-drops to play on turn 1. Turn 2, you can attack with your 1-drop and then play that. So because of that, I'm just going to take Flame Slash here. Flame Slash is just a great removal spell. Any deck that you're playing is have to play Flame Slash, I think. So here, I really like the Arid Mesa. I like the Steam Vents. The Masked Admirers is kind of a strange card. So in this battlefield you draw a card, and then whenever you cast a creature spell you may pay 2 green, and if you do, return it from your graveyard to your hand. So it's kind of like a grindy card. It's only a 3/2, so it's not really going into beatdown decks, but it's more in like a green mid-range style deck where you're trying to grind your opponent out. Den Protector is quite nice, but Remand really catches my eye here. We do have Flame Slash, so we can try and go into like blue-red or whatever. You know, no reason to think we have to go into any specific colours, but it is worth noting that the Steam Vents is in the same pack as the Arid Mace, as the Remand. So if we do want to go into blue-red, we're not going to get access to the Steam Vents, unfortunately. So we know that we can at least lower our priority on fetches because of that. We don't want to be taking Wooded Foothills to fetch a Steam Vents that isn't going to get past to us. I think taking Remand here is fine. There's nothing I'm too worried about missing out. Den Protector is quite nice, but again, Remand is just really nice in the blue-red tempo decks. So I'm not unhappy taking that this early, just to speculate on it. So in this pack, I really like Tooth and Nail. We are not a green ramp deck. We have nothing to do with green ramp, and I don't actually think that the green ramp decks are as good in this cube, just because the amount of high-end things to Tooth and Nail for, I think, is significantly restricted, or it's just like the threats aren't as good as in the other cubes. Normally you can get like Avenger Zendikar and create Hoof Behemoth and kill your opponent in one shot. I don't know if those are both in this cube, so that kind of puts me off the Tooth and Nail. They're both modern legal, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're in the cube. I haven't seen them, so. And I mean other drafts, not just this one. So in this pack, I think not really drawn to anything. You know what? Let's just take the Prophet of Crucifix and see where we go in blue-green, if that's something we want to end up in. I don't think that was the correct pick, but I kind of got distracted. So it kind of looks like we're stuck with that. Massacre Worm is really powerful, especially if the Phyrexian Obliterator wields, because they're just both really strong cards, but they are very color intensive. I like Master of the Wild Hunt. Master of the Wild Hunt just makes tokens, which is great, and then you can use them to fight, which is insane. Anything else? Porcelain Legionnaire is great in beatdown. Tasker is fine, and Hornet Queen is great in big dumb green decks. So we can pretty much go anywhere with this. I think we just want to take Master of the Wild Hunt here. I think it's just one of the highest quality cards here. Generally in Cube, anything that gets extra value is really good, so Hornet Queen is incredible as well, though. It's very difficult to beat a resolved Hornet Queen, but it's just hard getting to cast it. So here we have Silverheart, Polukranos, and Sarkhan, all fantastic. We also have the Verdant Catacombs as well, and Falkenrath Aristocrat. Aristocrat's fine, but it's going to be pretty hard to argue to take that with what we've got so far. I'm not necessarily sold into any specific archetype yet, but I think we want to be like some combination of these colours. We haven't seen too much red go around, so that's something to pay attention to. Like, we could just take Sarkhan here and take it as a beatdown card, but I think as a 5-drop we could just take the Silverheart and at least then be in green still. And we've already got 2 4-drops, so I think we just want to take the Silverheart here. Again, Sarkhan would be good, but I think that because we're not necessarily in red yet, I'd rather just take the green-red 5-drop. They're both very powerful cards, so... Here we have Corsair if we want to go more grindy. We have Figure of Destiny and Grim Lavamancer if we want to go like the red aggressive decks. Personally, I prefer Figure of Destiny just because Grim Lavamancer, you want more burn than beatdown, because if you're playing beatdown, then your creatures often are on the table instead of in the graveyard, so it's a little bit harder to enable Grim Lavamancer. Whereas if you're playing burn spells, they just go at your opponent and then they go in your graveyard, and then you can throw them at your opponent with Grim Lavamancer. So for that reason, I prefer Figure, but Figure is also very mana intensive. Nothing here really takes my eye. I don't mind taking Corsair Crucifix here, so I think that's what we're going to take. And Crater Hoof is in this, which is good to know. So what does this one even do? Rashmi, Eternity's Crafter. Whenever you cast the first spell of your turn, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a non-land with converted mana cost less than the card that you cast, then you cast without playing its mana. If not, you put it into your hand. So that card is just going to get incredible value if it doesn't die. If it survives one turn and then next turn you play, say, a 5-drop, then you're just going to... It basically just gives all your spells Cascade, or the first spell you cast Cascade, which is insane. I kind of want to just play that with Prophet of Crucifix and just have a fun deck, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to build a fun blue-green deck, I think. Like, Crater Hoof was better if we want to go ramp, but this card just seems sweet, so we're going to just have some fun with this draft, I think. So Traverse is fine, and Nest Invader is whatever, really. It's going to be so hard to enable Traverse, so I think we're just going to take the Nest Invader here. It's just a really bad ramp card, but we can play it. I don't think Traverse is going to be worth playing, so we're just going to take Nest Invader. We're not like set on playing it, but it's playable, I guess. It helps put some pressure on Planeswalkers, so you can play it. Next turn, like, ramp into a 4-drop, but you can still attack their Planeswalker if they play a Planeswalker. All of these are fine, I guess. Like, Search for Tomorrow is okay, and the Berserker, as I mentioned, is good, but we are not going to have 1-drops in our deck, and I don't think we're even going to be the beatdown deck, so we're just going to take Search for Tomorrow, and we're going to put it in the 1-drops. Here, I think we want Den Protector over the Admirers. I think it's fairly close, but I think we'd rather the Den Protector. And Tooth and Nail Wield, which is a very good sign. Out of these, doesn't really matter what we take. I'd rather just take the Banefire, and in case we end up with like a couple of red lands, and then we can just like splash it if we want to, like kill our opponent in one shot. And Figure of Destiny Wield, okay. Quite a lot of the low to the ground red cards have been wheeling, like even the Porcelain Legionnaire goes in the mono red decks because it's a Phyrexian mana, so it might actually be that red is open, but this deck looks sweet, so we're going to stick with this. Oh, that goes there actually. So yeah, Rashmi is whenever you cast a creature spell, you basically Cascade, if not it goes into your hand. And then we've got Prophet Crucifix, which lets us untap all our lands during our opponent's turn and play creatures that they had flash. So by the look of it, we have a really fun deck set up here. And I just want to take sweet cards that go in this deck. Not too worried about winning with this. I'm more interested in having sweet turns. So I like Noble Hierarch, ramps us. It's pretty much what we want to be doing. Other good cards, Cyclonic Rift is insane if you overload it. Like, you pretty much just win a lot of the time if you overload Cyclonic Rift. Especially when you go end of their turn, overload, and then you just untap, kill your opponent. Aether Adept is fine, and obviously Windswept Heath is nice, but we've seen the Steam Vents go around. I don't think we've seen the Breeding Pool, but again, I think we just hit the Noble Hierarch. It fixes our mana as well, so... What is Rune Snag? Counter target spell unless its control pays 2+2 for each card. Okay, sure. So it's just a bad mana leak in this cube because I assume there's only one. So cards we are interested in are Arbor Elf, Consecrated Sphinx, maybe Pilgrim's Eye, and maybe the Rune Snag. But mainly these two. The early ramp is important. We already have 3. If you even count Nest Invader, I don't really count it as a ramp card. It's more of like a bad ritual, I guess. A really bad ritual. So I think it's between Arbor Elf and the Sphinx. The Sphinx is just insane. If you can, like, even if you don't even ramp into it and you just cast it on like turn 10 or something, even if you've been missing land drops and you cast the Sphinx, it's just so powerful that I think it's worth taking. And hopefully we can pick up some more ramp later. Wow, Hazoret came... I didn't even know Hazoret was in this cube. So yeah, I wish we were in the red deck because I'd love to play with Hazoret in the cube. But we're not, so I think we want the ground or the kitchen Finks, maybe the research, but I think the fertile ground is fine. So we'll just take that. Here we have Sylvan Caryatid. Meloku is fine, so it's pay 1 mana, return a land you control to your hand, and then you make a 1/1. Flyer token, which is fine, but because we don't have any way to play lots of lands in the same turn, like normally you can use things like Burgeoning, Exploration, Fast Bonds in the Legacy cubes and the Vintage cubes, but that's just not available in Modern, so it's just not nearly as powerful. So we're just going to play Sylvan Caryatid here, I think. Yep, seems fine. And here we have Elvish Mystic, which is great. Rabble Master would have been nice in the red deck, as would have the Chandra. We also have the option of the Mirror, so it taps for 2 colorless. So it's not great for giving us like lots of green, because obviously double green, double green, double green, double green, more double green. There's just lots of... It's just very color intensive in this deck, and also it's on the 3 instead of on the turn 1. So obviously there's a big difference there. So if we go on turn 3, play the Mirror. Turn 4, play our 4th land drop, 5/6. So that does mean that we could go the Mirror into the Sphinx, which is quite nice, but I think we'd rather the 1 mana dork over the Mirror. And Ronas. Oh, that would have been a sweet red-green beatdown deck. So I guess that actually might be the pick for us. What does Journey Mentor of Heroes do? Distribute 3 1/1 counters among creatures you control. Look at the top 4 cards. You may reveal an aura, creature, or planeswalker card from among them and put it into your hand, and then you gain 100 life. So I kind of want to just take Ronas here. Ronas is sweet. If you get a bunch of mana, you can just play Ronas and like start pumping your creatures. Even turns like little crappy Elvish Mystics and Noble Hierarchs into threats. And it's just a sweet card. So we're just going to play Ronas here, I think. Teferi might have been sweet, but triple blue is not something I'm interested in. So we have Sora of Temptation, Drake Haven, there's just not going to be enough cycling, and I guess discard, but yeah, we can't discard anyway, and Silent Departure, which we're not interested in. So I think it's probably going to be one of the 2 cycling lands, or Sora of Temptation. I really do like the cycling lands, especially in our kind of deck where we're going to end up going quite late into the game and we can take advantage of these. Probably prioritize the Groves. Yeah, we'll just stick that in the sideboard. We're probably going to be playing it, but I just left it in the sideboard. And the Thickets come round, so I guess we just take that too. I wish we took the blue cycling land now, because on turn 1, or you want your green sources to come in untapped, so you can go turn 1 play a mana dork. So if you're playing like, I don't know, 12 forests, 5 islands, you want the blue sources to be actually the deserts. But there's nothing we can do about that now. So the Bant Charm came back. Destroy an artifact, put creature on the bottom of its opponent's library, or counter target instant. It's fine. There's nothing here we really want. But I don't think we can be playing the Bant Charm. We have 1, 2, 3 white sources so far. I guess we might play it. Sure. We'll stick it in the sideboard. Rune Snag is fine. We'll play it if we need to. Nothing else is interesting for us. Hazoret Wield? Yeah, so red is just completely open, which is interesting. It'd be sweet to play Hazoret and Ronas in the same deck. There's nothing else we want. Like, wait, yeah, we're gonna take Hazoret there. We're not gonna move into that color, but I think it's just the best card to take there. Hornet Nest is actually incredibly powerful. Take that. We're more likely to play that, and we'll take Mana Tithe. Hornet's Nest is incredibly good against aggro decks, so it doesn't look very good on the surface, but if you're even like a beatdown deck, making like 3 1/1s with Death Touch is incredibly hard to beat without having some way to remove them without losing too much value. So things like Chandra that deals 1 damage to creatures, things like that are really good at dealing with the Hornet's Nest, but other than that, it's just really hard to deal with all the tokens. So in this pack, Tracker is sweet. Progenitor Mimic is amazing. So it says you play it and enter battlefield as a copy of a creature, and then it has at the beginning of your upkeep, make a token of this creature. So you play like something with an enter the battlefield effect would be nice. Doesn't look like we have anything too great. Oh, even like a Nest Invade, no. That's pretty crap. Anyway, basically you just make a copy of a creature every turn. And it doesn't say sacrifice at the end of the turn, so you literally just make another copy every single turn, which is insane. But I'm pretty sure that's going to wheel, so I think we want to take the Birds of Paradise or the Tireless Tracker here. The Tracker is very powerful, but so is the Birds. Nothing else that really we're interested in. Like, Cleek is fine, but Tireless Tracker is just better. I think we actually want to take the Tracker here. No, we're going to take the Birds. I think it is just better to take the Birds of Paradise here. So Kiki is here. We have Toother now, so if we can pick up another piece of the combo, we can just go Toother now into an instant win. But that does just mean it's really bad when we draw it. So if we don't take that, Mind Control is incredible. Bloom Tender is pretty good. That's about it. Like, we could take the Forest, but we're not looking to play red. So I think we just take Mind Control. Like, we could take the Forest, play the Thicket, and then we have Birds of Paradise and Sylvan Carrot and a bunch of red sources, and we can try and play like Hazoret or something, but that just doesn't seem the payoff for that. So I think we're just going to take Mind Control here. It's just 5 mana and take control of a creature. If we had more blue creatures, maybe Bloom Tender, or blue permanents should I say, but we don't, so we're just going to take Mind Control. Wow, this pack is really good for us. So we have Wall of Roots, just another ramp creature. Ugin, which is just incredible to ramp into. Just a lot of the time you play Ugin and just destroy all their board, get rid of all their planeswalkers, everything, and you just win on the spot a lot of the time. Garruk is insane, and yeah, I don't know what is better between Ugin and Garruk. I actually think it's really close. Obviously Ugin is a more powerful card when you play it, but you can just play Garruk so early in the game and he ramps you so quickly. Like, you go from 4 up to 6 and then you play your land for turn up to 7. So you go it's just insane how much it ramps you. I think it's between those two. I think, well, we have much more chance of the Garruk wheeling than the Ugin because Ugin's colourless, so it can go in a lot of different decks, so I'd rather just take the Ugin. It's not the only reason to take it, but it's also just a very powerful card. I don't think either of them are necessarily the wrong pick. So So here, nothing really helps us that much. Like the Gearhulk is fine if we want to go beat down, but again, we're looking to be a little bit more grindy than that with the Prophet and the Rashmi. I think that's how you call it, Rashmi. Yeah. Again, we could take Stomping Grounds or something if we want to add red, which we don't really want to be doing. So I think it's like, oh, we could take Eldritch Evolution. That would be nice if we took the Kiki-Jiki as well. If we had the combo, then it's just an easy way to get into Kiki-Jiki. So it's 3 mana, sacrifice a creature, and then look in your library for a creature that costs exactly 2 more than that creature. So if we sacrifice a Bird's Paradise, we get to a Rona. So if we sacrifice a Rona, we get to a Prophet. Which seems fine. So there's another Garruk, Nissa, and Avacyn's Pilgrim. There's also Scatter to the Winds, but that's not even close to the others. Oh, there's also worth noting there's a Pestamite. Pestamite does go with the Kiki-Jiki if we want to try and take that and hope the Kiki-Jiki wheels, but Kiki-Jiki will just not wheel. He never does. Or it's very rare. So I think we just want to take Nissa here. Nissa's just really sweet. Again, as I said, this is not the most competitive deck, but it's sweet. So I think we just take the Nissa because Nissa is sweet. I think Avacyn's Pilgrim is probably better, but Nissa is awesome, so let's have some fun with Nissa. A lot of the time, you'll see in my cube drafts, I will play aggressive decks, and I appreciate that some people are not hugely interested in just seeing the same aggressive decks punch your opponent in the face a bunch. So I like to try and mix it up. So we're going to play just blue-green stuff instead of red-green or red stuff. Frostlinks is when it's battlefield, tap that creature opponent controls. That's not what we're interested in. Temporal Mastery is sweet. Eternal Witness is fine, and the Predator is fine. I think we just want to take the Mastery just because, again, it's sweet, right? Manipulator is good, Predator is good, but I just want to, yeah, screw it. We're just going to take the Mastery and just have as much fun as we can. I guess here we just take the Into the Royal. Nothing else is even close, I don't think. Maybe Voice. And that's a strong maybe, so yeah, we're going to take Into the Royal here. Koth, oh my god, red was so open. So this is the one that when it's battlefield, it has a -1/-1 counter on it, and then you can pay a green to remove it and destroy an artifact or enchantment, which is quite nice. If not, the Treetop Village is okay. When obviously not a humans deck. I don't know how many humans we have, but we're not a beatdown deck anyway, so that's irrelevant. I do like it that we can tutor for this with the Eldritch Evolution, which is quite nice. Sure, we'll take that. Cleekwield, Garden we're not interested in, unless we want to play the Bancham or Manatithe, but no, we're not really interested in that. The Naturalist, sorry, Cryptologist is just a really, really bad looter. I guess when you get it up to what level? 3, it's fine. Sure, we'll take it in case we need to like get ridiculously grindy. I guess we can take that. Kiki actually wheeled. Alright, well, I eat my words. Apparently, Kiki-Jiki is going to wheel. Now the question is the Pestamite? I don't think so. But I was wrong about the Kiki-Jiki, and we don't want any of these, so sure, we'll take Kiki-Jiki. And Flint Hoofboar, I guess. For against an aggressive deck, sometimes you just need creatures. We can take Stomping Ground if we really want to try and cast Kiki-Jiki. We don't have a fetch land, so maybe we just take Raging Ravine over it. Sure, we'll take the Raging Ravine. And Avacyn's Pilgrim Wield, which is insane. Don't get me wrong, Garruk is very good, but I think we want the Avacyn's Pilgrim here. And we'll take the Lynx, sure. And the Isolation. We're a little bit light on threat, so maybe that Garruk was better to take. go separately, sort of by converted mana cost. Search for Tomorrow goes down there. This is a threat, and so is Nissa. I guess Tooth and Nail is as well. We don't have too many ways to actually close out a game. We have Nissa, Ugin, Consecrated Sphinx, Silverheart, and any other creatures, and Mind Control. And then we're just going to try and grind our opponent out. This deck seems sweet. I don't know it's very good, but it seems sweet. We're going to take out Eldritch Evolution just because it just doesn't really do much. We're not trying to combo our opponent out. We could take Kiki-Jiki if we want, or put Kiki-Jiki in again just for the Tooth and Nail, but I don't think it's worth it. I really wish we were in the red deck because Hazoret and Ronas in the same deck would have been sweet. Like if we wanted to play red, we'd play that, Flame Slash. Yeah, would play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra cards, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We just lose all the sweet cards. So I definitely think we want to stay in this. Plus we just don't have the cards to make an aggressive deck. Not even close. So we want to cut like one card. We've got so much mana acceleration that we don't really want to be playing 17 land. Maybe we actually just play 15, because we've got 4 1-mana Dorks plus the Search for Tomorrow, and then another another Mana Dork in the Sylvan Caryatid, and the Fertile Ground, and a really bad creature is the Nest Invader. We can play into the Royal. I don't think there's anything else. I don't really want to be playing Nest Invader, to be honest. Let's just cut that. I think that looks about right. Oh, we could just cut the Vengevine just because it doesn't do too much. I do like it that it is a really grindy card as well. Like it works nicely with the Rashmi and stuff like that, where we can just grind our opponent out and we can just block with it and then use Rashmi and then get it back. And maybe we cut Vengevine. Alright, screw it, we'll play this. Lands, we want to play the Grove and the Thicket. Just simply they cycle, that's all we're playing them for. We don't care about the extra mana they produce. Add basics, 8 and 6. Seems pretty high on blue. So that means we'll have 10 green sources, but only 8 on turn 1. The fact that it's 8 on turn 1 is very important because we have 5 turn 1 plays which need green. So I kind of want to go down to 5 blue, but that's too low because we have Remand and Rune Snag. So yeah, this seems fine. So that's going to be the deck. Alright guys, game 1. So we can go turn 1 Search for Tomorrow. We are on the draw, sorry. And so we can go turn 1 Search for Tomorrow, turn 2. If we don't hit a land drop, we're just looking really bad. I don't see any reason to keep this. Like the Temple Mastery is really bad as well, so yeah, we're just going to mulligan that. And this hand seems fine. We'll keep... This is significantly more controlling than our typical hand, just because of the Control Magic and the Remand. I think we just have to keep that land on top. And we're against White Weenie. Just gonna lead off with the cycling land. We could possibly want to cycle it later, but because we have Tooth and Nail in hand, I don't think that's going to be the case. Hopefully this Mind Control can steal something like Archangel or Angel of the Archangel of Thune, sorry, the one that has lifelink. I think that's the one that has lifelink. A lot of the angels in the white decks have a lifelink anyway, so we're just going to take 2 here, and they just pass the turn, which is great for us. So we have the option either keeping up Remand or suspending Search for Tomorrow. I think we just want to keep up Remand because next time we can just go suspend Search for Tomorrow and keep up Remand again. So I don't see any reason why not to. Also, if they have, when they have access to 3 mana, that's things like the 3 mana Gideon. I guess that, which is just pretty difficult for us to interact with because our mind controls sorcery speed. So we're just going to keep this Remand up. Hopefully counter a 3 mana spell. If they just play like a... We know they don't have any more 1-drops because they didn't play anything on turn 2. And they drew 1 by the look of it. Well, we're not going to Remand that. I'd rather wait till turn 4 and try and Remand a Gideon or Elspeth or something like that. And we're only taking 2 here at the minute, so it's not too bad. And again, they're just passing. Okay, that's fine. As I said, like, our opponent didn't do anything on turn 2, and then on turn 3, all they've done is play a Dragon Hunter. So I have no idea what's in their hand. It's either big spells or removal, or just land. 1, 2, 3, 4. So next time... Yeah, next turn we won't have access to Mind Control because we didn't suspend Search for Tomorrow last turn. But as I said, like, we kept up Remand, which I think is more important than getting a Mind Control on a shitty 2-1. We're just going to take 4 here. And hopefully, there we go. Just gains a bunch of value just by countering their 4 mana spell. And we drew a land, unfortunately. So this will have 1 left on it. And we drew Ronas. So we know what our opponent's going to do next turn. They're going to play Elspeth. So we can play Ronas and it does nothing, and then we don't have any other options, so I guess we just have to. I'm going to choose to keep up 1 blue just to represent Spell Pierce and things like that. But like, typically I wouldn't want to just play Ronas into what we know is going to be an Elspeth next turn, but we don't really have a choice. If we're lucky, our opponent will decide to do something like play a 5-drop Angel instead. If they play a 5-drop Angel, we can go like Mind Control it and then attack for 5, which would be really good for us. Journey to Nowhere, sure, that's significantly better than them playing an Elspeth for us. So again, we're going to take full hit down to 8. And hopefully they don't have a follow-up. And they do. 2 mana, 1/1 double strike, Eternalize for 5. So Eternalizes 5 mana, bring it back as a 4/4, and it will have double strike. So 4/4 double strike is pretty hard to deal with. But we have to kill it first, and that's not going to happen. Not for a while at least. So Search for Tomorrow comes off suspend now, so we can go get a land. Just get a forest here when it lets us. And for turn we drew another land. Brilliant. Play the forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next time we can play Toother now, but there's just nothing to do with it. So I guess we just have to Mind Control the cat here and then use it as a blocker. The other option is to take Gideon. Then we take 1, 2, 3. No, we have to take the cat because they have Elspeth. Sorry. Elspeth just goes, give a creature +3/+3 and flying, and then give it on the cat, and then all of a sudden we just die. Hopefully we have some good things in the sideboard to help us out against these aggressive decks, because we've got sweet grindy cards, but we don't have too much against aggro decks. We have like the Wall of Roots, I think we have, but not too much other than like, it doesn't seem too much anti-aggro stuff in our deck. Yep. So yeah, if they did this on the cat, we would have just taken 8 straight away and died. So we had to do that. They're going to choose to make a 1/1. I thought they would just jump Gideon and hit us, and then do it again next turn. So that's surprising. Everson's Pilgrim. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So next turn we can cast Tooth and Nail Entwined. If we survive that long. So we can entwine Tooth and Nail, go get... I don't even know what we can get to help us at this point. Trying to think of anything that gains us life, like Courser Crucifix is the only thing I can think of that gains us life, but we don't really want to be Tooth and Nailing for a Courser Crucifix. So we're going to give Gideon +3/+3, puts them up to 5. If they're just going to chunk us here for 5, that's absolutely fine. And they're attacking with everything. Obviously we're going to block here, take 5, 6. We can block here and take 1 less. Or, yeah, we can only block there, sorry, this got flying. But I think the only way we're going to win is by Tooth and Nailing next turn. So there's just no point in saving 1 point of life. Like, we might die to a specific card. Like, I can't even think of anything that gives +2/+2, but I guess if they had it, they would have just used on the... Oh no, that wouldn't have made a difference. Alright, so they're going to flip Kythian here. Up to one target creature an opponent controls attacks Gideon next turn if able. Oh no, they're going to untap that and make it indestructible until their next turn to protect them, I guess. Silver Heart. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana to play with. I think we just entwine Tooth and Nail here. No idea what we're getting yet, but we'll see. Alright. The Sphinx is nice, but it doesn't help us too much. It does stop with the Elspeth. I can do that. And the Prophet of Crucifix, I think. So what that'll do is we'll put the Crucifix and the Consecrated Sphinx into play. During their turn we'll untap, and then we can flash in the Silver Heart and whatever we draw from the Sphinx. So yeah, those definitely the two we want to be putting into play. Okay, and hopefully from here we can like try and grind our opponent out. Obviously we're not going to attack into them because this is indestructible, so they'll block, we'll do first strike damage, it won't die, and then they'll kill our cat. And then they'll get it in their graveyard, which we definitely don't want. So their upkeep, now draw step, we should draw 2 cards unless they have instant speed removal, which they do. That does mean we are just dead to Elspeth, but they don't know that. We can't answer anything. So we're just going to pretend that that's not going to kill us. Going to make 4/4. They might just make Gideon flying. Yep. Yeah, there's nothing we could have done there really. The only other option was to get like this Sphinx and Birds of Paradise is just another blocker, but I think we need to get the Crucifix to flash this in and start getting ahead. I don't know. I think that's... We're in a pretty bad spot either way. I don't know what the optimal play was. We might just bring the Lynx in here just to slow our opponent down. We can ditch the Mastery. And what else do we want? Vengevine is fine. Hornet's Nest we definitely want. Nest Invader seems nice. Things that we don't want are... This is not great. Mind Control sucks, but there are some really good targets it can hit. But because they've got so many 1-drops, I think we'd rather just these. If we had seen like really good angels in their deck, then I can see keeping it, but we haven't, so not going to bother. Vengevine is nice to pressure planeswalkers, and then we could cut like the Elder. But we've seen that they have Journey to Nowhere. Let's just cut Rhinos. Yeah, we'll try this. Definitely want to play first. And yeah, we'll keep this. Sounds sweet. We're going to turn one Birds of Paradise just so we can get the Remand up. Of course they're going to have a 1-drop because they have a bunch in their deck anyway, but unfortunately it's their best 1-drop. And we're just going to pass the turn back, keeping up Remand, which we will probably just use in the first thing we get a chance to, just because we want to keep the board empty for when we play Rashmi. We want as little pressure on us as possible so we can just get Rashmi down and start getting value as quickly as possible. Or we could play Rashmi and try and keep up Remand at the same time. Again, they've not played anything on turn 2. So play the Forest and play the Elvish Mystic. I did consider keeping that in the hand just for Rashmi, but I don't think we want to be doing that. I think we just want to keep up this run. I guess we could have just played Rashmi there. That might have been better actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And next time we get to play Rashmi and keep up Remand, which I prefer. Or we can just remand this Monastery Mentor. So if we remand the Mentor, next time we go Rashmi, but we don't have any spell to play with the Rashmi, so that feels pretty bad. It's only any spell, right? Whenever you cast the first spell each turn, yeah. We're going to let this resolve because I want to at least get one trigger from the Rashmi here, and we don't have anything else to cast, so yeah, I think that's fine. So we're going to... The actual Search for Tomorrow comes off suspend now, I think. There we go, yeah. So we'll go get an island. Eventually. There we go. Sweet. Island goes into play, draw a forest. Play that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play Rashmi. And we'll just pass the turn back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So next time we can just cast Toother now. Without the Entwine, just to trigger Rashmi as well if we want. Definitely going to remand that. So Silverheart goes into our hand. Remand resolves, we draw a forest, and then they get a 1/1, and their prowess resolves. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's fine that they cast the Journey to Nowhere again. We've got the value. We at least draw a card, which is fine. We could just cast Toother now next turn to go get the creature that you can remove the counter to destroy the enchantment. But I think that's a little bit stupid. We could just wait an extra turn and try and entwine it, so we're just going to take the 4 here. We need the mana from the Elvish Mystic. Plus saving 4 is just not too important. Well, at least not more important than the mana. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can't cast Tooth and Nail Entwined. Stick that on a forest. And I think we have to choose the mana straight away. Oh no, you don't. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play the Silver Heart, and we'll attach it to the Birds of Paradise, I think. Yeah. And then we just pass the turn. Now we have some great blockers, and next time we can just Tooth and Nail. Hopefully, at least, assuming our creatures don't die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So if we draw a land, one of our creatures can die. If not, we need both creatures to survive this turn. I guess if we draw a land and both our creatures survive, we'd play around Mana Tithe, but I'm not looking to play around Mana Tithe. Collective Effort. So they're going to escalate it once. So they're going to destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. So they're going to destroy the Silver Heart, and they put a 1/1 counter on each creature they control. And it's obviously the prowess trigger result. Sorry, the monetary mental trigger resolves first. So the Collective Effort does put a counter on the new monk. And all the monks are going to be 3/3s now because they got 1 counter on and 1 prowess trigger. It's a shame we didn't have that the Hornet Queen, sorry. That would have been really good against our opponent here. And our opponent's going to get Kythian. We just can't afford to block here. Maybe we could have blocked 1 and hope we draw a land, but I'd rather just guarantee casting Tooth and Nail next turn. I think we have to, really. Because we would have blocked 4, been up to 8. But if we don't draw a land, we just die on the spot. Alright, so it's going to untap their mental, which doesn't matter. Alright. Cast Tooth and Nail. We can put the Prophet in, and then we can do whatever we want with the other mana. Or sorry, the other creature we want to get. So I'm pretty sure we just have to get the Consecrated Sphinx just to be able to catch up in this game. So if we get the Sphinx, we can put that and the Prophet into play, and then in their turn flash in 1, 2... Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Sphinx. I want to say Hornet's Nest, or Hornet Nest, sorry. It's like that, or maybe. So I kind of want to just get something like a Nest Invader just to make 2 bodies, but at that point we might as well take Hornet's Nest and start making Death Touches. We could take Courser of Kruphix and use it as a good blocker, gain some life. Or we can take the 4/4 and blow up the... Yeah, we're going to have to take that actually. So I put these into play. During their turn, everything's going to untap. And we should, if we can stabilize somehow, we should just fly away with the game card advantage wise between everything we have here. And we drew 2 more creatures, which is great. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana to play with. Alright, so they're going to give something flying by the look of it. I'm just going to always yield to that instead of messing around. Can make Gideon into a creature. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures to attack with. Alright, so we have to block the Sphinx on the monk. Oh, actually, we can use the Birds of Paradise. That seems much better. They're going to attack with everything. And go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, play this. One, two. Oh. Another green. And this, play the Master of the Wild Hunt. So we're going to go to blocks here, block this on the 6/6, this on the monk, this on the 3/3, this here, and this here. The other option is to use the Master of the Hunt on the Gideon and then keep the Prophet Crucifix alive. Because if we block like this, we actually take 3 and go down to 1. And then, because it's very difficult for our opponent to like burn us out, so I actually quite like this. I just don't know how easy it is for them to enable prowess. But I don't think it's going to be very easy for them. So I think we want to do this. I think we want to do this, and then before damage we're going to use the Birds of Paradise with this. And we should just have like just ridiculous amounts of value for the rest of the game between Corsair and Rashmi and Consecrated Sphinx that we should be able to just win. Assuming our opponent can't sneak in some damage. I don't know how they could. So we can go play Vengevine. Maybe we want to Toothen now. There's so many different options here. Because we get to untap during our opponent's turn, I think we want to get back something like a Silver Heart because we can flash that in. We're not going to be able to play Den Protector, flip Den Protector, and play Toothen on the same turn because we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we need so much more mana for that. So let's start off with okay, we'll start off with Vengevine. So that'll trigger Rashmi, see what we get. Nest Invader, which is great. We'll cast that. We'll get our Vengevine and then play Den Protector. So now, worst comes to worst, and they do make another flyer. Not only do we have the Sphinx to block, we can also just unmorph, Den Protector, bring back Birds of Paradise, flash Birds of Paradise in. So we're just going to attack with anything here that has more than 1 toughness, because they're all just going to untap anyway because of the Prophet. So we're going to go at Elspeth. We could just try and go face, but I think that's a little bit over the top. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, maybe it's not. So we could probably kill our opponent next turn if we just go face, right? 4. They can only block one creature, so say they block one of the 4/4s, they take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then next turn, they should just be dead. Yeah, okay, we're just going to go attack all creatures at our opponent. Except the Elvish Mystic. No, it should be fine to attack with that, actually. If they want to trade that for a monk, I think we're okay with that. Yeah, that's going to take... block the 4/4. Like, they can make a creature flying, but we have 2 blockers, so that should be fine. And we just pass the turn back. Luckily we're against a white deck and not like a red deck, because red decks don't just burn us to kill us, but the white decks don't typically have any reach. And Rune Snag is quite nice if our opponent ends up casting more than one spell. So they're just going to use that on the Sphinx and hope that wins, and then we can just flash in the Bird's Paradise, and that should just be game. Or we can then protect a Remand and remand that. I think we actually want to remand that, because if we remand it, then we still have our Sphinx next turn in the Sphinx. But then we don't get the Silver Heart back, do we? We should just be able to kill our opponent anyway, right? We can just cast Rune Snag, actually. Cast Rune Snag to see what the... wherever it is, Rashmi gives us. An island. Cycle this. Another cycle land. So our opponent's going to pay the 2 here. So Den Protector costs 2 to flip up, and then 1 for Bird's Paradise. So we don't actually have enough. Oh yeah, we do. We can cycle the Thicket as well if we want. And as I mentioned, we're just going to flip up Den Protector, get Bird's Paradise, flash it in because we have Prophet of Kruphix in play, which lets us flash creatures, but we're going to wait for them to attack first. Alright, so they're being correct in just attacking with that. So we're going to go that. On Birds of Paradise. And they're just conceded. Alright. So that game we were fortunate enough to be able to drag that out long enough to win, but it wasn't easy. So I kind of want to just bring in the Flinthoof Boar as just another 2-mana creature just to get in the way of things. If we're playing our 2-drop to trade in with their 1-drop, it doesn't feel good, but it's better than having like high-end cards stuck in our hand. All of these cards seem quite nice though. Vengevine is probably one of the weaker cards, I think. So I don't mind just taking that for Flinthoof Boar on the draw, just because we need to get low to the ground and get in the way as much as possible. So I think we want to just do that. Ronas is incredible if we can enable him, but it's pretty difficult, especially on the draw. If we're playing Ronas on turn 3 or something like that, then we're effectively just not developing the board because he just doesn't block early game. Unless we turn like that into Vengevine. That into Vengevine is just incredible though. You just attack for like 9 on turn 4. Nissa is sweet, but I don't think we can afford to keep Nissa in. At least Ugin, you can just go like -4 exile. Yeah, -4 exile all their planeswalkers and everything. Hopefully, exile their Journey to Nowhere, get a creature back and things like that. Unsure of how our opponent is going to be sideboarding. Probably just going a little bit bigger. That's generally what people do. If we have too much like stuff low and early game. Like you'll see a lot of the standard decks at the minute playing like Hazoret and the red, all the mono red decks will just board into extra planeswalkers and things like that and just go a little bit bigger. Sometimes they bring in like Reality Smasher as well if they're not already playing the main deck. Reed Snag felt pretty weak, but it's again it's like an early piece of interaction. It's one of the few ways we can deal with a turn 4 planeswalker. Like turn 4 Elspeth, the one that gives them +3/+3 and flying, is incredibly difficult for us to deal with because we're not the aggressive deck, so it's very hard for us to start beating their planeswalkers down whilst they're hitting us for 4 in the air at least. Normally like 5 or 6. So yeah, I think Rin Snag is just good enough against those planeswalkers that we need to keep it in. Reminder isn't great. That could actually be cut, but I'm not too sure what for. Eldritch Evolution is not something we want to be doing. Just because it's so hard to find something right on the curve. This hand is ridiculously land heavy, but it does have Hornet's Nest, which is very, very good. I actually think this is a keep. We have a turn 2 and a turn 3. We have our land drops. We've got good fixing, or good colour, sorry. And we just got to hope we draw into good stuff. Like, the Hornet's Nest is just so good on turn 3 that I think it's just worth it. Like, you block an X2 and you've played 3 mana for 2 1/1 Death Touches and you've blocked 2 damage. And if you get anything more than 2 tokens, then this thing is just ridiculous. Especially as in a white deck, they're not going to have answers to deal with lots of little tokens. Like, if they're red, they might have some sort of, like, Flames of the Firebrand or something that deals, like, 1 damage to multiple creatures. But white is just going to have a real hard time dealing with Hornet's Nest tokens. It's a shame we didn't get anything to deal damage to it, because sometimes you can get, like, Chandra to ping your own Hornet's Nest to deal 1 damage and make a token. And just keep doing that. Also, we could have brought in, I think we have a Stomping Ground for the Flint Hoof Ball, but the risk of having to take 2 is not worth the tiny chance that we get Flint Hoof Ball as a 3/3. And our opponent is in the tank, whether to keep their 6 or not. They go down to 5. Then it feels really good for us, but at the same time, I don't really want to win just from our opponent mulliganing down to 5. Not necessarily saying that they can't win on 5. Seen people win on like 4s as well, so it's not like game over or anything, but it just make the game a little bit less interesting sometimes. And our opponent is just still in the tank. We do have only 7 minutes on the clock, which is something I need to pay attention to. So I'm going to have to try and play a little bit faster. It's quite hard to play and talk through what you're thinking as well, though. I think a lot of people will like see Magic content creators and just like assume it's you just do the same thought process, but you really don't. Also, mate, just in recording games, my win percentage significantly drops just because it's harder to talk and do Magic at the same time. Like if I just played Magic and didn't record, then my win rate would be so much higher. I can like actively see the difference. But I think it does make you better in the long run if you talk through your plays anyway, so. Our opponent's still just thinking about the 6. That or they're just AFK. In regards to things we're looking to draw, we would like to draw Quarter of Kruphix would be nice. and Rashmi, I think, are two pretty good draws. Rashmi's so slow, but the value you get from it is like so good. I think Corsair Crucifix is like one of the best draws we could have. Gains life, is a good blocker, helps us stop drawing lands. I'm just gonna send a message to our opponent just to see if they are actually here. Okay, yeah, there we go. So we can lead off with Celestial Colonnade. Interesting. Don't think we've seen any blue from them yet. And we drew another land, which is very bad. But that was like one of the risks with keeping land. And another tapped land, okay. No wonder they spent so long thinking about this hand. 2 tapped lands. And no 1-drop? Wow, okay. Ugin was a nice draw. A little bit slow, but just a very good high end. And we're just going to play a 2-mana 2/2. Which feels really bad, but if your opponent's attacking you with a bunch of Savannah lines, you need something to block them. Selfless Spirit is very difficult for us to block, which makes our creatures look pretty stupid here. We're going to attack for 2 here. They're not going to block. We can't block the Selfless Spirit, and they're not going to play anything with haste, so there's no reason not to attack here, I don't think. It would be really nice if they did block, but they're not going to. Or if they did it, I'm pretty sure that's a big misplay. Unless the hand is like 6-drop Elspeth and a bunch of like high end, and they've boarded into like loads of huge planeswalkers and things. Alright, sweet. We'll play Hornet Nest and pass. And our opponent's going to get Monastery Mentor. Sure. They're going to crack in for 2. Eventually, and I'm not going to be playing around Wrath of God. Like, they could be playing Wrath of God with their Selfless Spirit to do like a little combo, but I'm not expecting them to be. I'm just really thrown off by the Colonnade. And another land. Ugh, gross. Alright, well, we're going to play Island. Play the Bird's Paradise. And I think we're just going to attack with the Flinthoof Boar here. We could choose not to. The pros to not attacking, because they're not going to block. If they go like any sort of removal spell on Hornet Nest, at least then we can use this as a blocker, but we're not going to block this Mentor anyway because it would give it a prowess, so there is no reason not to attack here. So we'll get in for 2 and pass the turn back, and just hope they don't have any sort of 4 mana or any like removal spell basically for the Hornet's Nest. A Planeswalker would be really bad for us as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they do have Journey to Nowhere. Well, it's better than them having something like Land Nissa. No, sorry, Land Gideon. So it's not the end of the world. Also, it does mean if we ever do get to Ugin, then we're going to get Hornet Nest in the same turn, because we will minus and exile the Journey to Nowhere. They're choosing not to attack with the Selfless Spirit, which is very bizarre. So it's not too bad because we're just going to try and ramp into this Ugin, so I'm not too worried about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we should be able to cast Ugin next turn. It's been nice if we had like one mountain for the Flint Hoof Ball, but obviously that's a little bit niche. And we're just going to pass the turn back. And hope our opponent does something like play a land, play Elspeth. That would be nice, because then we could just take it away with Ugin next turn. Also, Ugin says exile, not destroy, so Selfless Spirit does not matter. So our opponent's got Windbrisk Heights with something clearly here. Yeah, so sorry, they messaged saying, "I'm so sorry, man," which suggests that they've got something with their Windbrisk Heights. I have no idea what it could be. I kind of hope it's Emrakul, just because it would be funny, but we'll see. And the reason I've blocked the Monastery Mentor here is because we don't care about keeping our Flint Hoof Boar alive, because we're just gonna Ugin next turn anyway. So if this is anything less than 7 CMC, it's not, and it's Ulamog. I'm pretty sure we lose to that. So they're going to exile these. I have no idea what we could draw here. Remand, sure. Alright, well, we're just going to go on to the next game, because we cannot beat that. That is actually that's the end of that round, so see you in the next round. Round 2, we won the dice roll, which is sweet. And this hand does very little, but we have a cycling land. This hand is really close. We could just draw like 2 land in a row and lose the game. Really not sure if we want to keep this, especially being on the play. If we were on the draw, maybe, but I'm just going to mulligan that. I really don't want to lose. Just a stupid draw. Like, there's so many bad draws we could have. We'll keep that. And we'll go Hierarch and pass the turn. So we've got turn 1, Noble Hierarch. Turn 2, we can go Thicket on the forest. Or on the island, it doesn't really matter. And then we can keep up Remand. We'll put it on the forest. So now we can keep up. Yeah, now we have Remand. Hopefully we're just going to keep hitting our land drops and try and play Nissa as soon as possible, really. Alright, so island, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana to play with. Like, the only cards I can think to play around, we're worried about are things like Abrupt Decay, which isn't even... Like, Abrupt Decay will kill the Nissa, by the way. So, Nissa's convert mana cost is X, green, blue, which means that on the stack, whatever the X is will add onto the CMC, but in play, Nissa will be just a 2 CMC, so Abrupt Decay will kill Nissa here. And Remand won't work against Abrupt Decay, unfortunately. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can do Nissa for 3. I think we're just going to do that. So Nissa's 0 is look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it, or a creature card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of loyalty counters on Nissa, then you put it into play. But the problem with that is that if they just go play an untapped land, they can use their Treetop Village to kill our Nissa. So we're going to we kind of just have to plus here, really. We do want the land. I don't think we want the Search for Tomorrow. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a way to kill our Nissa. Okay, they didn't have the Abrupt Decay, which is, first of all, a very big win for us. So they can attack Nissa here if they want to. They're choosing not to. I think we're just gonna 0, burn the battlefield, play a forest, and pass. We could attack with the Noble Hierarch, but they're just gonna block with the tree village. So that's a pretty stupid misplay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we could Temporal Mastery here actually. Sure. We could wait until we have more stuff going on, but I don't hate this. Not really doing too much, so. Corsair Crucifix. Unfortunately, Nissa's ultimate isn't that great in this matchup, so they're like green-black. I assume they're going to be some sort of green-black controlling deck, so because of that, dealing 10 damage to our opponent just isn't that relevant, other than trying to kill our opponent very quickly. So I think we just want to go play Corsair Crucifix, and then we're just going to keep zeroing. Ah, so now because of that, we actually know what's on top. That's actually quite a nice interaction. So I guess we just scry. We do want the Toother now, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we definitely want the Toother now. So we'll put that on top, and we'll pass the turn. Again, we're just keeping up Remand at this point. Hopefully, like, even if our opponent just plays like a Planeswalker here, that's absolutely fine because we can just Remand it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Possibly if we Remand and draw a land and 0 Nissa, we could entwine Tooth and Nail next turn. See what our opponent's got first, though. But ideally we want to entwine the Tooth and Nail as soon as possible. And they're playing Skin Renderer. It's not the end of the world, but we could just Remand it. They're just going to kill our Noble Hierarch, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're just going to Remand this. And Rashmi on top, which is pretty sweet. We should be able to just grind our opponent out this game with what we've drawn. And Ugin on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What do we want to do here? Actually, we could entwine Tooth and Nail this turn if we Nissa ultimate. So Nissa's ultimate actually untaps 2 lands. So we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we could actually entwine in Tooth and Nail this turn if we really want to. If we just get Consecrated Sphinx and Rashmi in play, we probably just win, right? Oh, sorry, and Corsair Crucifix. Yeah, I think that's actually better. Is there any way we could win this turn actually? Silverheart and... where is it? Okay, no. I was going to say if we get Silverheart and... I can't remember the creature's name for some reason. The 4 mana creature, 4/3 haste. So let's go Corsair. Sorry, Prophet of Kruphix and Sphinx. Stick these two in play. Oh, get a land drop for turn, gain a life. I don't think there's a way they can outgrind us from this point, but we will find out. And apparently we just shuffled Ugin back on top again. We don't get the Exalt triggers because we're attacking with the Kruphix, but we get in more damage this way anyway, so... So hopefully they don't have any... Okay, they don't. I was going to say hopefully they don't have anything to kill our Sphinx during their upkeep. But as they've gone to draw it, they don't. Opponent's got 5 mana for Obnixilis, which is fine. They're probably just going to destroy the Corsair here. Sorry, the Sphinx. Which is fine. Just go ahead and flash this in. Doesn't really matter when we do it, they're tapped out, so we could play the Avacyn's Pilgrim at the end of... No, they're just going to concede, okay. I was going to say, we could flash in the Avacyn's Pilgrim, but I'd rather get the Rashmi trigger. So, we're against black-green, grindy stuff, so we're going to bring in Vengevine. Vengevine was the card I was trying to say, that if we got the Vengevine plus the Silverheart, I was trying to work out if we could kill them, because we could get 4, 8... No, we wouldn't have been able to anyway. Anything else? So we can take out something that's not very good at it being grindy. Rinstag is not great. If we go late game, it's just going to be dead anyway, so at least Remand will cycle. The other option, well, the pro to Rinstag is just a really good answer to early game Planeswalkers, but I think we just want to stick with this now. That goes there. Anything else? We could bring in the Banefire if we wanted to just like try and burn our opponent out. That and have the Raging Ravine, the Shelter Thicket, maybe even the Search for Tomorrow with a Mountain, plus the Birds of Paradise, Fertile Ground, Sylvan Carroted. We could easily actually have a red splash for Banefire. It's just not worth it, so we're gonna play this. We are on the draw this time, I expect. And this hand is slow, but pretty good. We'll keep this. It's not amazing, but we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we cannot miracle this because we don't have enough mana. But it would have been sweet if we could. Hopefully we will actually get to miracle this at least once. Alright, we'll play the Elvish Mystic and pass. If they have a kill spell, I doubt they'll use it on it anyway. This means next turn we can either... Oh, they're tapping out. Okay, so because they played Herald of Torment, we're not going to play the Nissa. I guess we could 1, 2, 3, 4, so it'd be 2 and then go up to 4. So if we play Nissa X equals 2 and then plus, then it will still survive against the Herald, but they can just activate the creature land and kill it anyway. So it's between Caryatid and the Master of the Wild Hunt. I expect to have a kill spell, but I think we still have to just play the Master of the Wild Hunt and hope they don't, because if they don't, then we can just get free 2/2s all the time. What we really want to do is be able to cast Nissa, and then hopefully it survives the turn, and then next turn go Temporal Mastery, so we can get 2 Nissa activations in a row. I guess it would be 3 if you include the turn you play it, but yeah, taking extra turns is incredibly more powerful when you have Planeswalkers in play. Because a lot of the time you spend all your mana that turn casting the extra turn spells. Opponent's attacking us for 3, obviously, and hopefully they don't have a follow-up. Thrun, sure. So just play it at 4/4. That doesn't really bother us too much. Here we're going to get a 2/2. And we drew Prophet, which is insane. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Play the Prophet. Their turn, flash in Silverheart. The fact that they didn't kill the Master of the Wild Hunt just, to me, tells me they don't have a removal spell. Like, letting us get a free 2/2 seems crazy, so... This also means that we can go flash in Silverheart, soul bond it with the wolf, and then tap this. Wait a minute. Huh. So Master of the Wild Hunt actually includes Wolf's Silverheart, because it says each wolf. Which is interesting. So between this and this, we actually have 10 damage to divide, because Silverheart will give itself +4 and this +4, so this is effectively 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah. Wait. No. 12, 13, 14, sorry. There is a very big risk in flashing this in and trying to kill this, because if they kill this in response to the activation of the Silverheart, then we've just suicided our wolf into the 3/3. So I'm actually just going to take this 3 just because I don't think the risk is worth it, to be honest. I'd rather just take the 3 and then do it at a safer time. Like, hopefully they'll tap out for something. Whisperwood Elemental, sure. So, bring in the Silverheart. Guess we'll put on the wolf token. So we'll very easily kill the Whisperwood. They should have sacked in response. Don't know why they didn't. It doesn't do anything, but and we'll just get to untap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's not too much we can do here. Wait, with the Temple Mastery, unfortunately. So we get another wolf. We're just going to play that out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So play the Nissa. And do we want a plus or 0? I think we want a 0 just to try and hit our land drops. And they're just going to concede. Okay, so yeah, we're basically just against a black-green mid-range deck, but between Corsair Kruphix, Prophet of Kruphix, Master of the Wild Hunt, and then we just had everything come up so much of the night, like at the right time, and they're just playing like a 3-mana 3/3 flyer in an attrition matchup that just does nothing because we just ignored it, and they were basically just like doing nothing with it. And then they played a 4/4, they did nothing. And then they played a 5-mana 4/4 again that just did nothing. And whilst we were like getting extra value from all our cards and gaining tempo with the Prophet, so that was overall, I think that was just a really good matchup for us. I don't think that says. So yeah. Anyway, on to the last round. Peace. Round 3, and we're on the play. And this hand is super close to being insane, but we don't have a green. But we're still going to keep. We've got Remand. We've got a couple of draw steps. And luckily the Elvish Mystic will give us our second green for the Silver Heart anyway. Like, Mind Control is just a great card anyway. Remand should buy us a little bit of time. And hopefully we're not against a mono red deck. Because if we are, we might have a bit of trouble. Alright. So, Rootbound Crag is fine. Hopefully we're against like a red-green mid-range deck. Because our deck is a little bit slower than the red-green decks, but we are significantly more grindy, so that would be good for us. Generally, if your opponent is a little bit bigger than you normally are, the person whoever's a little bit bigger normally wins. And again, we still need a forest, but things aren't looking too bad. We are still just making our way towards Mind Control as well. Is that Jace? Yeah. And our opponent's ramping. I'm not going to remind that. We could do just to try and get... just to try and draw another card. Just cycle the remand, but I don't really want to be doing that. And we draw a Search for Tomorrow. So our opponent does actually just think we're on like some super heavy control deck, which we're not really a control deck. We have Remand, Control Magic, Snag, and I think that's it. Our opponent's on some sort of Naya stuff. They haven't actually played anything other than mana producing things either though. Alright, Forest off the top, it would be really nice here. No. Okay. We might start getting into a little bit of trouble here if we don't at least hit our land drops, let alone not get a green source. Our opponent's hitting their land drops, so they don't really need to play anything yet. Like, if they just keep hitting their land drops and we don't, then we're just going to lose. We are going to ditch the Silver Heart here. Just because it's not a value card and we're not looking to beat our opponent down as quickly as possible. We're going to have to somehow... I don't even know what we're going to have to do. Draw a green source and hopefully get Elvish Mystic into Sylvan Caryatid and things like that. Oh dear. Well, our opponent's not putting a clock on us, which is good. We'll ditch the Everson's Pilgrim. Out of anything, I think we're just going to go Utopia Sprawl, sure. I would like to remand something as quickly as possible, but I can't just remand a Utopia Sprawl and then they just go, sure, play a Planeswalker. Because we just pretty much lose on the spot. So hopefully we can draw green and then we can go like Forest, Island, Search for Tomorrow, get another Forest, play Sylvan Caryatid or something, and like jump back into the game. Please draw Forest. Sweet. That is perfect. Okay, another forest. Originally I said to play Caryatid here, but I actually quite like playing Elvish Mystic because then we can keep up Remand. Alright, we just jumped back into this game because it was looking pretty bad for us, but things are looking up quickly. Our opponent end of turn is Pestamine one. Looks like there's some sort of Kiki deck then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just trying to work out if we Remand Kiki, are they going to be able to cast it again? Ah, crap. Completely forgot about that. Yeah, we might have just lost the game. That was a bit of a silly mistake. If they just play Kiki, we're just gonna concede straight away. We're not gonna make them make like 8 or 9 tokens. 8 or 9, sorry, like 10. Bad math is bad. I'm pretty sure they're trying to cast Kiki Jiki here. They're just struggling with their colours apparently. Yeah. Alright, what I should have done was just reminded the Pestamite. And then next turn they would have just went 1. Probably would have just won anyway, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And they'd need, yeah, they would have just won anyway next turn. So we did misplay, but luckily it didn't matter anyway. Okay, so changes. Hornet's Nest doesn't do too much. Banchar might be nice, but I don't really want to mess up our mana. I think we just keep it how we are. Yep. We could bring in Vengevine if we want to try and kill our opponent as quickly as possible, but this should be fine. I think this deck's actually been really sweet. Round 1 we had pretty good games, and then we lost to a really funny Ulamog from a white weenie deck. And then game 2 we managed to grind out a mid-range deck, which was pretty fun too. So I actually had a lot of fun playing this deck. Although it's not something you typically see on my channel, it's been pretty fun. If this is the first time you're watching anything on my channel, then generally you can expect aggressive decks. So like in Modern I play like Bushwhackers and Goblin Guides and Lightning Bolts, and in Standard try and play things as like that as well. A lot of like Electrostatic Pummeler, but it is nice to play Cube and mix things up. And this hand is sweet. We'll keep this. It can get a little bit annoying when you lose to an infinite combo in Cube, but I think that's just part of Cube. I know some people don't have any infinite combos in their cubes, but like the Kiki Jiki Restoration Angel, Kiki Jiki Pestamite decks, things like that, I think it's just so iconic that they should be in the cube. Because when you think of like Modern or something like that, I think a lot of people do just think of these combos, and rightfully so. They've been a big part of the Modern format. Before Splinter Twin combo got banned, it was like it won like 2 Pro Tours, I think. We're just going to play this creature out. Just play as a 3/3 and start beating our opponent down. They're going to cycle. We can just play the Prophet next turn and cycle the Thicket during theirs if we choose to. Our opponent got a mountain with the Traverse, so we know that they don't actually have the mountain in hand because they've played it there. At least I think they've played it in that order. And they're going to miss him. What was that? So just a 1-for-1 is fine. We didn't get the value from ours, but they didn't get the overload value from theirs, so it's fine. We want to play the Kruphix and the Master of the Wild Hunt. Unfortunately, it means we won't get to play the Sphinx next turn unless we draw an untapped land. Actually, yes it is, because if we play the Thicket and this survives, then during their turn it'll untap. Which is sweet. So yeah, we have the Prophet, Prophet Kruphix now. I definitely understand why this card was banned in EDH, because this card is ridiculous just in a 2-player game. I can't imagine having more untapped steps than 2. Gonna untap, upkeep, make a 2/2, and we'll play the Forest because we can at least cycle the Thicket later. Can't think of anything that they could flash in that would scare us. Like Ambush Viper's not going to be in the cube. We actually want to play the Sphinx now, so yeah. The reason we want to play the Sphinx now is because we do it before their draw step, but also we get to do it during their untap step, so we get to untap. So if, yeah, basically we want to untap and get the draw too. Obviously we want to draw 2 cards, so we've got Rune Snag, and we've got Cycling this, and we can just flash this in. So I'm pretty far ahead at this point, I think. Thragtusk. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, the Rune Snag isn't going to give us a trigger because we've cast the Rashmi. But we do get to mana leak them. Sweet, so we'll play the Forest. I guess we might as well cycle straight away because we're up anyway during their turn. Draw Nissa, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'll trigger Rashmi into the Royal. Is there anything we want to bounce? Can't see any reason to. Like, we could try and bounce something to play around a board wipe, but I don't think that's worth it. Oh, it just goes into a hand if not. Oh, that's sweet. We're just going to 0. Play the Forest. And we'll start swinging in. Unless our opponent can combo off, then I think we're looking pretty good here. We've got into the Royal anyway with the Prophet, so we're going to untap. So we're going to draw at least 3 cards this turn, because the Sphinx plus the Into the Royal. And we get to flash in the Birds of Paradise end of turn. This deck is sweet. This deck is so much fun. We've got Prophet, and we're going to trigger Rashmi with the Birds of Paradise. Yeah, sweet. And sideboarding. Again, I don't think anything changes. Our opponent didn't do anything, unfortunately, but our deck was sweet that game. Yeah, let's play that back. They're not an aggressive deck, so we don't need the Hornet Nest. They haven't had any Planeswalkers we haven't seen, at least, so we don't need Vengevine to like pressure them. I think we just want to stick with what we've got. Into the Royal is nice because it's just like it's like one of the very few ways we can actually interact with the Kiki combo. We are very limited in ways to interact. We have Remand, Rune Snag, Into the Royal, Ugin to bolt one or remove one, mind control, but nothing at instant speed really. So maybe that is worth bringing the Band Charm, but I don't think so. How many white sources do we have? One Noble Hierarch, one Bird's Paradise, one Avacyn's Pilgrim, one Sylvan Charioted, one Fertile Ground. Okay, maybe we do just bring it in then. Add a Plains, and we also have Search for Tomorrow as well. Yeah, maybe we do actually add the Band Charm. Kind of like Den Protector. Alright. Well, we've resubmitted. I chose not to add the Plains just because I want to still have the main game plan and not... Because if anything, we can't really afford to cut a forest because we want as many untapped green sources on turn 1. So we'd have to cut an island. And I don't really want to be cutting an island because we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could probably get away with cutting one actually. This is fine. We'll stick with this. Band Charm is nice. Just our opponent just goes like Kiki Jiki. We can just stick one of them on the bottom of their deck and continue from there. We can actually use it to blow up Mana Rocks as well too. Actually, yeah, we'll keep this. Opponent's going to Oath. I'm pretty sure they're just heavy in on the combo. From what we've seen like Oath of Nissa, the combo, and Mana Rocks, and a Thragtusk. And the Thragtusk is probably just like another Kiki target as well, because you can copy Thragtusk, gain the 5 life, sacrifice it, still keep the beast, or get the 3/3 that Thragtusk makes. Judging by the fact that we have Ugin in hand, I'm pretty sure we're going to be playing all of our lands and not cycling them, so I'm going to choose to play this now and not have the punishment of it coming into play tapped for later on in the game. Like, we could keep it and see how it goes, but I don't like doing that because I don't want to like punish another turn later. I never knew that Utopia Ritual had to be on a forest. Makes sense, theme-wise at least. I'm gonna choose red. If they choose red, then they choose white for Restoration Angel. So next turn we can keep up Remand and into the Royal with Kicker. No, not with Kicker, because we don't have the second blue source. And we actually drew our white source for the... or 2 white sources, sorry. For the Charm. For our opponent, like... yeah, we're gonna have to... actually, we don't have to do anything to this. Do we want to just remand it though? No, that's fine. Guess we just take the 3. Can just mind control it or end a turn into the Royal it. We'll see what happens when what we draw. Very nice. Okay. I think we just want to play Ronas here and keep up Remanded into the Royal again. Hitting our land drops, getting closer to Ugin. Ronas is fine. Sooner or later we hopefully can mind control something that will activate Ronas straight away without having to pump him. Or pump the creature that we steal. Pestamite. I'm just trying to work out how we lose it, because they only have one red source, so unless they have an actual Splinter Twin, because what they're going to do is Pestamite, tap down one of these. I guess we just let this happen, right? Because if they have Splinter Twin and we remand this, they win anyway. Well, they still need the mountain, obviously. I'm just going to let this resolve. The only reason to not let this resolve, I guess, is if we're scared of just losing to Beatdown. Yeah, we'll just take the 2. The 2 extra they're going to put on us. Like, if they do, just because they've chosen white with this. Yeah, it does look like they're just going to try and beat us down. Bancham was quite a nice draw. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana currently. I kind of want to just mind control one, but if they just draw like a filter land, then no. Actually, I think it's fine to mind control here. Mind control the resto. Oh, we don't have double blue. That's irrelevant. Alright, we'll see what our opponent's up to during their turn, and then we can hopefully do something with our mana. It's not being very cooperative this game, unfortunately. But we have access to Bancham and Remand and into the Royal, so they shouldn't be able to combo us off. If our opponent attacks us with both, I think I'm just going to Bancham the Resto Angel here. Because then even if they have the combo, they have to wait till next turn to do it, because they will have already attacked. The other option is... No, I think we do want to do that. Blue, white, green... The reason I'm doing this is because we just want to slow the clock down. I'm pretty sure our opponent can't do too much against us. Like, they're just drawing the wrong half of their deck or something, because they haven't done anything other than played those creatures. Obviously we're getting screwed on lands or colour, so we're not doing anything either. But if we can slow our opponent down, we should be able to draw out of this. I'm just going to cycle. They're like 5 colour combo or something. I don't know what the black is for. I don't really want to find out. Alright, hopefully this can help us draw into some islands. So we can Ronas on the Corsair to attack for 5. But then we can't keep up into the Royal and Remand, so I'm just going to choose not to. I'd rather just miss out on the 5 damage than lose to the combo. Obviously, like, it might be safe to do it, but we're not in like an awful situation, so I don't see any reason to like do it so aggressively. We're only taking 2 here if they attack, and we can just like from now on just like pump the Corsair Crucifix and then just start attacking for 9 each turn, whilst keeping up Remand and into the Royal. And if a land is on top, we can pump twice. Mizzy Mortars that. I think we're fine with reminding that. They don't have another red source, so yeah, we're just going to remind that. soon as I line out to tap my mana. Blue, green. Could enter the Roiler instead, but I'd rather draw the card and... Sweet, so there's an island there, so we can start doing more things now. It is worth remembering that they have Missing Mortars in the hand, but at the same time they need triple red to overload it, so they're a bit off overloading that. See what else our opponent is up to. They got 5 mana to play with. We could just mind control the Pestomite, and just if we mind control the Pestomite, then we know the Restos at the bottom of their deck, and they don't have their Pestomite. So then we can just start getting really aggressive, because even if they do have the Kiki, then it's not the end of the world. Okay, so they might just kill the Corsair here. Adding 2 red, uh-oh. Okay, sure. So they chose to plus Chandra to Mizzium Mortars instead of minusing, which is interesting. One, two, three, four, 5. Yeah, we can kill Chandra here. So we steal this, use Ronas to pump, and then we can use Ronas to kill Chandra. Pretty sure that's exactly what we want to do this turn. So now we, under very little threat of them comboing off in one turn, and we're ahead on board. And we have Ugin in our hand, so if things do go really bad, we still have Ugin to catch up. I'm pretty sure our opponent's just been screwed on their colours. Bonfire of the Damned, sure. Killing the Caryatid is pretty annoying, because now we only have one. Oh, there we go. I was going to say we only have one blue source, but we've drawn Fertile Ground. So we do have enough mana to activate Ronas twice to attack for 5, and then next turn... Oh, we still wouldn't be lethal next turn anyway, so it won't bother. And we just pass the turn. We could try and Ugin -1 to get rid of the Utopia Sprawl and the Oath of Nissa, but that doesn't seem very good. I like keeping up into the row so we can just get rid of something that they play, and hopefully Kicker as well. So they played the Mountain ages ago. Olivia Voldaren. So Olivia is 4 mana, 3/3 flyer, and deal 2 damage. Sorry, 2 mana, deal damage, put a 1/1 counter on Olivia, and then it makes it a vampire, and then you can pay 5 mana to get it, basically. So in a grindy matchup, it just steals all your opponent's creatures, which is insane. Just gonna bounce Olivia here, hopefully draw into something nice. Birds of Paradise, sure. And a forest. I think what we want to do here is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can pump 3 times. So that's 6, 7, 13, and then threaten lethal next turn. But the problem is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they can. Yeah, and the next turn we can just go. You can kill them, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I would take 3 turns with Ugin, which is really slow. Screw it, let's just. Let's just get in for a bunch of damage and try and close this game out. Because Olivia is very strong. We can't do anything, so we're just going to yield. I expect they're going to play the Olivia here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they can play Olivia and ping, but they can't play Olivia and ping and steal. Not until next turn. Right, so we can play the Olivia. Probably going to ping the Elvish here. So we, yeah. Through an island, so I'm pretty sure we just want to go Ugin -5, and then we just have an Ugin in play, and that should be able to. Actually, they've chosen white with this, so they don't have access to red mana this turn. So we can just go Birds of Paradise, pump. Wait, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, we can go Ronas. Next Ronas only attack for 5. Okay. We're just going to go Ugin and -5. Wait, sorry, 4. Olivia is 4, yeah. So this pretty much just gets rid of everything but the Cold Steel Heart, because that is colourless. And we have an Ugin in play. And a Bird's Paradise. See if our opponent can do anything about our Ugin. Because it only takes 3 turns and we just bolt them every turn. That's a lot of mana. Yep, so Earthquake, they're just going to deal it to us. Well, fair play to our opponents. So, game 1 we played Mono White Weenie and lost to an Ulamog, which was pretty funny. Game 2 we had a sweet grindy game, and game 3 we lost to Earthquake. So, overall had a lot of fun with this deck. Thanks for watching, feel free to subscribe. I apologise for the lack of content just recently. I have just started my new job and things like that, so I've just been sorting out things in my personal life. But there's going to be a bunch more content to come, so thanks for watching and peace.